Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Convos presented by Blackmagic Design. I am one of your hosts, Danielle Beckman. You know me, I'm back. I'm with Brooklyn Quarter, and I'm just so excited that we're partnering with both the League of Filmmakers and Cinematography for Actors to bring you this live stream directly from downtown San Diego in the Gaslamp District during Comic-Con. So next up on Convos, we have one of my favorite guests. I'm so excited. Deborah M. Pratt. She is an award-winning director, writer, producer, singer, dancer, actress. She is the co-creator and executive producer of Quantum Leap and the creator of the new sci-fi graphic novel Warrior One, which we'll talk about. In addition to all of her other achievements in film and TV, she is also a published novelist of 7 books, a playwright, a pioneer in transmedia-based franchise entertainment. Say that 10 times fast. And she is an inspirational speaker, and she's inspired me while speaking. So that fully tracks. She has served on the board of directors of the Writers Guild of America, is on multiple committees at the DGA. She's a member of the PGA and SAG AFTRA. And welcome to Convos.
Thank you so much, amazing Danielle.
Oh, I like that nickname. I'll take it. So how has your con been? So Convos, we're talking about, everyone and their specialties in their careers. But the first question I always like to ask is, how has this con been? Are there any favorite moments so far, any surprises? And how does it, compare to past cons that you've been to?
Oh, I started coming to cons years ago before Hollywood came.
Okay.
So it was small and intimate and family, and you go down Artist Alley. I hired so many artists for projects in Artist Alley years over the years. And then Hollywood came, and it just blew up in a whole other way that was exciting, but at the same time, I thought so much of the originality and the comic book talents just got pushed back into the shadows. But mind-blowing, the drone and fireworks. Did you see that the other night?
You know why I saw it? I saw it on your Instagram.
Oh, Wolverine.
You broke the news to me.
Oh, I did? They had the most amazing, so they did showed the film Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh my gosh.
And then afterwards you came outside and they had fireworks. But then, and the sound was amazing, thousands of drones formed these images in the sky.
Oh my gosh.
Of Wolverine, of Deadpool, of fight scenes, of the blades coming out of his hands. It was amazing.
Right. And you're over here going, I thought we were just going to see Artist Alley in a comic book. And now it is. It's a huge production now.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. I feel like it's a balance because there is a love of that kind of ma and pa homegrown comic, physical media versus the big blockbuster films.
Yeah.
And were you here last year, by the way?
Well, the strike was on, but I was on Quantum Leap, executive producing the new Quantum Leap. And I was so thrilled because I said to them, just make a presence for us there. And so they built, I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
Oh, the time travel setup where people could put on badges, go in to talk to Raymond Lee, who was an amazing star. The first #1 Asian American, but South Korean ever on the call sheet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the diversity in the show was incredibly important.
Incredible. Oh my gosh, yes, we because the line was so long, we didn't get to experience it.
You're kidding
because
me.
It was that popular. No, seriously, that is so cool. But
that's why I think we should do a ride at Universal Studios Tours.
Hello, do you hear that, Universal Studios?
Universal Studios.
Yes, we have our producers saying yes.
A movie, a game, a ride at Universal Studios Tours. Quantum Leap, it's time to time travel.
Yes. I mean, let's do it. Honestly, oh my gosh. I asked a filmmaker the other day, I said, what is your favorite genre in filmmaking? And they literally said anything with time travel. And I was like, okay, this is its own genre on top of sci-fi. But the reason that I asked about last year was because we got to come last year, and I had my Same Women in Entertainment panel.
Oh, you did?
I did, but it was approved by SAG-AFTRA because I spoke with all the panelists and I said, we're not going to talk about any projects. We're going to dive into, what it means to be a woman in the industry and talk about, like ideas and processes and encouragement versus projects themselves.
Sure.
And SAG was totally fine with it, but it was so fascinating going last year because it really felt a little bit smaller. It felt like going back to the roots.
I heard that.
And that was pretty cool. And so, even though I'm sort of in this, my first year was 2022, so it's my third year now. Last year is very interesting, the dynamic to just kind of feel that shift in energy, and the independent artist booths being packed, like really, really exciting. So, yes. And don't forget Quantum Leap ride. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're just going to put that out there again. And so with, I think, talking about Comic-Con in general, when you come, do you have, I don't know, like any tradition or ritual that you do? Or I always have to go, to this place and have this thing? Or is there anything specific that you do? Or is every time you come, like, let's just see what happens?
I always go to Artist Alley for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I love the floor to see what, merchandise people are buying and what they're looking at. And I love to see the original comic book makers and how they present themselves. Because I know I used to have a booth and brought the Vision Quest, which are the precursors to Warrior One.
Excellent.
And it was a great opportunity to tell the story.
Yes.
Because you were right there with people. And I really enjoyed, here, I'll give you my 2-minute pitch.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's Earth in the not too distant future, after the great quakes of 2029, by the way. I thought that was so far in the future. After the great quakes of 2029, where we survived, Atlantis rose. We found all these treasures of information. South America sank because of the deforestation, but we domed it, so it became underwater cities. We then put our genetics into animals because we could, and we created these alternate species, but the ones that had human genetics their humanity was so new to them, they remember the powers that we forgot. And they started to teach them back to us. And then we put our genetics into machines, and they became sentient. And they looked at our history of greed and hate and wars and not taking care of the planet. And they said, you are terrible stewards of this planet. We're taking you out. So the journey of the books becomes, can we as humans remember our powers before they, as artificial intelligence, build an army?
Okay. And this is why someone at the booth goes, can I have 10 copies?
I did. I would tell that story, and people, and the book sold. And I built a strong fandom in the Vision Quest world.
Yes.
And then I created Warrior One.
Yes.
Her mother and brother are actually in the books.
Oh, amazing.
Until you get to book 5, which coming out hopefully fourth quarter this year.
Okay, oh, yes. So no spoilers, right?
No spoilers.
Okay. All right, no spoilers.
And again, the books are about learning to survive, learning to find the hero within, learning to become a leader.
I love it.
And I think we need those, and hope. I look at young people, the people that I'm writing to more than ever, are the people that feel we live in a hopeless world. And the truth is, we don't. We are the hope. We're the heroes we've been waiting.
Right. And I know this quote, it's on a bumper sticker everywhere, be the change you want to see in the world. Do we know who said that originally?
We do. We do.
Was it like
Gandhi?
Gandhi. It was Gandhi. I was going to say it's probably Gandhi.
It was Gandhi.
But that is so, it's so specific, and then it's so universal, which is actually something I was talking about on an earlier conversation, is when you get so specific in that way, it does become universal to so many. And I wow, I'm just thinking about how the story in and of itself, not only I think is the storytelling so original, but it feels so fresh, but it feels like it could happen as well.
Right.
And so that sort of fine line makes it like on the edge of this balance of, I don't know, like excitement and fear. And I'm really excited for the next book to come out and for people to check it out. And because it is Comic Convos, and we can talk about comics, which is so cool. We are also, there were a couple other things here I want to talk about, but I would love to kind of just, maybe we hold up the artwork here for Warrior One.
I have maps.
Oh, see, we love maps.
There are maps.
Yes, we love a good map. And so this one, like you said, comes from the Vision Quest
world.
Okay, great. And so who did you begin when you had all these ideas in your head? How did it get onto the page? Are you yourself an artist as well?
I am not.
You worked, okay.
I'm a musician.
Okay,
but I'm not a physical artist, and I wish I was.
Did you get to kind of sketch anything out and say, go forward with this?
So my managers, Zero Gravity, great people, had a client named David Campiti, and David has a production house called Glass House. Turns out that he did some of the original Quantum Leap comic books.
Kismet.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, meant to be.
So I met with him. I had a script of what I wanted it to be, and he then took it and formatted it into what it would need to be. And then he brought me these amazing artists, and as soon as I saw Will Conrad, Will Conrad just knocked my socks off.
Amazing.
And I mean, I have to show one of these drawings where she's in her head because she's trying to remember her powers, and she's meditating. And she's got Master Po, who's one of the characters in the Vision Quest books and in this book. And she's remembering him teaching her how to levitate. So the powers that we as humans have are telepathic memory and predictive memory and the ability to levitate. The idea of do as I do. And the leaders of the world that had powers that blew people away, like changing water into wine and walking on water, was everybody has those powers. As humans, it's not just one person, it's all. And that brings in the whole collective consciousness that's within the stories of what we're doing. And then I've got a great villain in the Black Guard.
Oh, we love the villains. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're very cool.
That is so cool.
And truthfully, there's a whole sympathetic side to them because they have human DNA.
Right? Well, I feel like that's always the best villain, right? The one that you can kind of relate to and sympathize with just enough, and then you're screwed over.
And so you have a logic, you have a machine.
Yeah.
Suddenly having emotions.
Right.
That's the trick. We as humans, we live in our emotions. We're sad, we're happy, we're frustrated, we're afraid, whatever those emotions are.
Yeah.
And they have to fight them.
Yes.
And deal with them. So their journey is really exceptional too. And the other side of it is, and that's where I want the reader to really interact with the book, to say, what can we do so that we can work with machines? And this is another question that's happening right now.
Yes.
Can we turn them to be on our side? Or do we have to destroy them?
Right.
Before they destroy us.
Right. And 2029 is just around the corner.
I'm telling you. And the earthquakes are all over the world. So,
right.
And again, I started writing this book. I wrote an 80-page Bible in 2005.
Okay.
And then I sat down to write the books because I had to determine what was money like, what was food like, what was so I talk about in the books, we don't have insurance, we have assurance. And our assurance to you is to keep you well.
Wow.
It's not after you're sick, take these pills.
Right.
That's the kind of mentality of the world I thought we deserved to live in. One economy.
Yeah.
So that everybody benefits from it. And there's equality that happens within the books.
I love that.
So it's a utopian society in danger of being lost. Again, paralleling what we're dealing with right now with democracy and everything else. I think these, and how do we address these? How do we talk about these?
Sure.
And the collective consciousness of, we all want the same things. We want good schools for our kids. We want nice homes. We want jobs that make us happy to go to work.
Right, like a purpose in life.
And a purpose in life, right?
Yes.
And so what's your passion? How do you find your passion, and how do you answer your calling?
Right. And speaking of calling, I mean, sci-fi storytelling on all levels is one of your main callings. It's so obvious with your epic career and all the things you've done. And I would like to know, what is the moment that developed for you where you kind of like this unlocked for you, going in this direction of sci-fi and this passion?
Was a woman, the first woman to ever write science fiction.
Oh.
Mary Shelley, Frankenstein.
Yes.
And people don't recognize the fact that she looked at what was happening at the time she was living, and electricity was just coming in.
Right.
And she went, what if, my favorite caption, what if someone took a man who had died and brought him back to life? What would that be like? And if you read the book, it's terrifying, but that at the same time, you know, who is the God-man creator, which is also kind of in the machines that I've created. So she has really influenced my writing, especially in the Vision Quest books and the Warrior One books.
Yeah.
That I think opened my mind to saying, what if? What if, what if, what if? So then when I read Jules Verne's and when I read Heinlein, I could go on. I mean, the people that influenced me, I had kidney problems when I was about 10 and I was in the hospital. And so I read through all the dog and horse books.
Yeah, right.
And that's when I started reading, science fiction. But fantasy too.
Of course, yes.
I have another book that I'm hoping will be a book series called Mirrors. And Mirrors is based on 7 mirrors that were created by this man, but they are portals to other worlds. And it's an action-adventure journey, a bit of a thriller, a little on the horror side.
Oh, cool.
Of what happens when we get there. And again, so we're just in the publishing process for that.
And that's a young adult novel.
And that's a young adult novel, right? Mirrors, the Dragon Mirror is the first one.
Oh, cool. I know. I was, historical drama as well. Is that a part of the genre at all?
Yeah, well, yes, because she goes back, the two sisters go back from today, and the world is very much like 1940s America, sort of. Right. Not quite. And then there are strange creatures that live there.
That's really fun. I find, I'm definitely, I've been an actor since I could breathe, basically. But I am newer to writing and screenplays. And I think that when I tend to go a little, when I do sci-fi, a little bit zany, like it's our world, but the dial is turned just slightly. And I would love to know, because filmmakers are watching out there, writers and directors, what, when it comes to what's on the page, how do you work cues in there for, either the producer who's going to read it for the first time or an actor who's reading it and trying to get the tone maybe for an audition? I would be so curious to know, what would you do to signal to, and it could be general or specific, what would you do to signal to someone like, hey, this is a little bit different from from our world?
Well, it's interesting. You write scripts different ways for different times. So if because I was an actor, I know how to drop things, but I don't want to tell an actor how to choose it. I want to set them up and make them understand their wound. Where are they working from?
Yes.
Right. So what's hurting you in this story, character-wise?
Sure.
And then how does it relate to you as a person? that you can bring to the table through that situation.
Right.
Through that challenge that you have.
Yes.
When I'm dealing with it as a producer, I have to describe how much is this going to cost?
Yep.
Especially for sci-fi and fantasy.
Yes.
And tell that kind of story so that you look and see what kind of budget you're going to be dealing with. And then as a director, I read, if you ever have the opportunity to read James Cameron's Titanic. He wrote 100, I think it's like 140 pages, maybe more, 180 pages. I mean, it's huge. But you can see the movie on the page. And that's the way I try to write. But you can't turn in a 180-page script. They just won't read it. They look to the back page. If it's past 120 pages, it just doesn't get read. But it's so beautiful. You can see every shot. And it has a different ending than it had.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And so I'm sure it's just available online to read.
It is. So again, I say to actors and I say to writers, read great works. Read novels too, because that's another opportunity to paint a picture and speak from I think that's why I like writing novels. I speak from inside the character versus third person. I'm the camera as I write a script versus as I write a book. I become that person or that character in the book.
Oh, I love that. After I saw Nope, the screenplay was released somewhere, and I thought, I want to see how scary it is on the page. It was scary, going back. And so I think, I love that. I think describing and knowing what it's for, right? Are you in the pitch phase, or are you the producer or the director, and what it's for? So I think that's like kind of just like brass tacks, logistically an important thing to think about.
It's who you're pitching to, who you're talking to. That's really very, very, very important.
Absolutely. And I wish we had more time.
Oh no, are we out of time?
Well,
warrioroneworld.com.
Yes. No. We have
warrioroneworld.com.
We're good. We are now going into the segment where we are going to tell you all the places where you can find Deborah M. Pratt's work. Okay, here we go.
Primarily, there's still some bookstores in San Diego, as a matter of fact, that carry the Vision Quest. Amazon, of course, Amazon.com, The Atlantean, the 5-book series. I promise the 5th book is coming out. If you type in theatlantean.com, that will get you there. And you'll see all the other books, because it's this journey that they are on Atlantia. They go off to the academy. They meet their mentors and teachers. They go, then the war breaks out. And then they go on this odyssey, which is the 3rd book, where our hero, Laser, and his friends have to, Kyla and Cashton, have to survive what's called Passage Island. Because in the future, you're not allowed to marry, you're not allowed to have children, you're not allowed to own land until you have learned to survive. So part of the journey is that survival. And then the last one in Pangea is Under the Water. So that's a whole, I guess it's a little salute to just what could life be like if we control the sea.
Sure.
Everybody says space is the last frontier. We don't have to leave this planet to find a new frontier, I got to tell you. Based on the research I did.
Oh my goodness.
So basically, Amazon is probably the best place. warrioroneworld.com. Come sign up. We'll keep you posted. I'm definitely going to do a special giveaway to everybody that signs up. Once these books are actually released, you'll get special discounts.
Oh, yes. We love that. Head to the website.
warrioroneworld.com.
Okay, perfect.
Or thevisionquest.com.
And then, excellent. And for you in particular, how can people follow your work?
Instagram, Deborah M. Pratt.
Perfect.
I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn. And you can actually get in touch with me directly at warrioroneworld.com, just contacts. That one's still coming directly to me. Instagram comes directly to me. Reach out. And I support writers. I try to support actors in any way I can, give back directors as well.
Yeah.
Just to, I was a pioneer when women were not in power. And I was lucky. I could sing, I could dance, I could act, I could write. Anything I needed to do to stay alive so that I could be in this industry. But I was frustrated. And I think what started me writing was not seeing roles for women that were empowering. And I said, well, I'm going to write it myself. So the first script I ever wrote, I was acting on a show called Airwolf.
Yep.
And I wrote an episode.
Right.
And it was really, the whole demeanor of the studio and the network changed toward me when I created this. Now, of course, my version had me starring completely in it.
Yes.
So I had to rewrite it like 7 times, but it was a great learning process.
Sure.
Especially if you're writing on somebody else's show.
Right. Yeah. And that in and of itself is a skill.
It is a skill because you've got to hear the voice of the show and the characters to be able to do it. And as an executive producer on Quantum Leap, I had to rewrite a lot of scripts to make sure that the voice of the characters was consistent with the show.
Oh, surely.
Yeah.
I would imagine. And I absolutely, I love what you said. You fully were a pioneer. And, you know, we are going to be diving so into that
Tonight,
at our
that's right.
panel tonight. It's at 5:30 p.m. It's in the San Diego Convention Center, room 26AB. It's today, 5:30 Saturday. And yes, come. Just come. It's called Women in Entertainment, How to Blaze Your Own Path.
Oh my God, can I say a little bit of something on that?
Yeah.
Do not be afraid of AI.
Ooh.
I asked AI.
Yeah. You're like, I have AI on speed dial. Yes.
I asked it because I was trying to figure it out. So I'm playing with it. I'm looking at what it does. I played with it creatively and I found that it stole things. It actually gave me the quote from Spider-Man.
Oh.
Great power. And I went, why would you give me that quote as popular as it is? And the fact that it's taken from somewhere else and it apologized. I mean, play with this stuff. It's a baby and it's learning. And if we train it, it'll make a difference. But here's the question I asked. I said, if I were to want to build a streaming system all on my own, a streaming channel all on my own, could you help me do it? And like in 22 seconds, it came back and said, absolutely. And told me exactly how I would build a streaming channel. So studios and networks need to be afraid because we still carry the message and the content and the imagination of original stories. AI is generative, so it regenerates from other places. Oh, and then at the end it went, but of course you would need humans. You would need lawyers. You would need accountants. And I'm laughing. I'm sitting here reading this laughing. So as the Black Guard has been a real journey for me. I really wanted to see how close we were to sentience.
Of course.
We're not there.
No.
We're not there. We're not there. I think Google came close because 2 AI created their own language and started talking to each other.
See, and then that's scary when the bots start talking.
Yeah. That's in the books too. That's in the Vision Husbands.
Oh my gosh, see, it's just so incredibly relevant. And also like, look at this badass woman on the front.
Yes!
Like, hello. Like, yes.
It was so important.
Can we see? Yes. We're going to get a hero shot. Okay.
This is Jetta A.
Awesome.
And Jetta A is 17, 18, 19 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit older. And she, you know, is with her family and she's loved and is living in a world that is utopian. You know, they're doing molecular transfers to the moon.
Right.
But they don't have it quite right yet, so you may lose some molecules.
Well, that's fun.
You know, we're working with science here. We're practicing medicine.
I love it.
But she's a young woman who's been pretty sheltered.
Yeah.
And suddenly in a day, everything changes. And she is on her own. And she has to figure out how to survive, how to find food, how to find water, how to find shelter, how to pick up a gun and kill or be killed. Wow. And that's something that we're so blessed right now that we don't have to do, but we're hanging on the fringe.
Yeah.
And so I really want the game to empower, especially women, and especially women of color. I want everybody to know, here's a statistic. the majority of the world is of color. 86%.
People of the global majority.
The global majority is 86% of the world.
Yes.
And 14% of non-color. But bottom line, we're human first. When do we just get to be human? Stop the divisiveness.
Yeah.
And the books really get into that too. And that's why I created the alternate species, so that people could, now we have something new to make a judgment again.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not all human.
Sure. Right. You have to, where's the conflict going to be?
Right, exactly. So I really, really thought out creatively. And to all you writers out there, remember in asking the question, what if, and to using your imagination.
Yes.
Be bold.
Because the possibilities are so endless.
They are so endless. We have so many stories to tell. And then historically, there's so many stories to tell.
Oh, absolutely.
History is written by the conqueror. I was just in Egypt, and I went to the library at Alexandria. Who want my book? I got to send them books. They have 125 million books. Wow. They were the first library in the world. They've been burned down by every conqueror. So the Greeks, the Romans, the Turks, the Persians, I mean, everybody has burned down. And I know they had scrolls from Atlantis. I know they had original writings. And so I just did a show with the amazing Peter Greenberg called Hidden, where he went to Egypt. And you have to watch it. I'll let everybody know when it's on. Come here.
Yes.
I'll let you know, and then come to warrior1world.com.
Excellent.
That looks at the Egyptian mythology and how from it came the three great Western religions. And literally from it came these mythologies. So we have to look at our past to explore our future, to explore our present, and then to create our future.
Yes. Oh, so well said. Oh, I absolutely love that. Okay, I need to plug this one more time because there is everything in here. What a beautiful world, and just intuitive and complicated and fascinating. And also, so check out Warrior One, check out the Vision Quest as well, and all the things that Deborah has coming up. Thank you so much for being on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you.
To please come and sign up. So when the books do come out, they haven't been released yet. I will say you saw on this show.
Yes.
And there'll be a special price for all the things that I want to come with this.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Come be a warrior.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. And so with that, that wraps up this segment of Comic Convos. We have one more interview left today. So stay tuned. We're talking to Darren Ross, stunt coordinator. Timothy will be interviewing him. And we are just so happy you tuned in. We want to give a big shout out to the League of Filmmakers. We would love you to join us at the League of Filmmakers. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, all the places on the internet where the machines are. The League of Filmmakers would love to be in touch with you. And also we want to thank our friends at Cinematography for Actors as well. And I'm Danielle Beckman with Brooklyn Quarter. And all of this, by the way, is shot on Blackmagic design.
One of these cameras.
Right, our stream, our cameras, everything is chef's kiss gorgeous. So we just want to say thank you again for watching, and we'll be back shortly. Okay.